Good morning. I'm starting my day with Monster, which is not usual, but my husband, well, we didn't remember to get coffee. Good morning. Hello, ladies. I know a couple guys join us every once in a while, but it's mostly women. So honestly, this will probably be my last Periscope from my current home. The birds, I know, they are awake this morning too. We close on this house tomorrow morning. We're not moving out till Saturday, but between the insanity of finishing up packing and having 3 kids, closing, etc. Yeah, so my next scope will be from my brand new house. Well, it's not brand new, but it's new to us. So yes, it's super exciting. 10 degrees. We did run this morning. It was, 37, I guess it was. It is, I thought that it would be easier, the birds. I thought it would be easier moving as my kids got older. Yeah, you can totally lose weight. Fat loss is based on your diet. It's not, and your macros will be set according to your amount that you work out. So if you don't work out a whole lot, then your macros will reflect that. But yes, you cannot outwork a bad diet. So, oh my Lord. No, it is, we don't hit the negatives in Texas. If we do, they shut down the schools for like a week. Awesome. Looking forward to it. So I wanted to explain something to you guys. I've had a couple of people ask me since I know protein can be hard. It's something you really, my suggestion, especially when you start out, is to even out your protein fairly evenly throughout, distribute it fairly evenly throughout your meals at first. Wow. See, I wish we had snow though. That would be so nice. We actually haven't had any this year. We normally get at least one snow week with school. It snows like an inch and they shut everything down for like 4 days. Oh yes, must. Yeah, so the best thing to do is to try to get in, I eat about 50 grams a meal. So you upgraded weighing stuff in grams. So my suggestion is if you're going to search for foods, like let's say you're going to search for bananas, I would search bananas in grams. And then typically if you don't see what, sometimes a lot of the different things that are in there aren't accurate. And so if you really want something that's accurate, then I would go out to the USDA.org or .gov, I think it is, I'm not sure. And they will give you the exact nutritional data for pretty much every food. You can search anything that you want to. Good morning, Idaho. My favorite protein powder for baking would probably be either PE Science. Literally any flavor that they make is fantastic. And I would second BPI Sports Protein. Those are my 2 favorite that I bake with. I'm kind of on a PE Science bandwagon right now. Just they taste phenomenal. I've honestly never had a better vanilla protein. So those would be my 2 favorite go-tos. If you need all natural, I suggest J-Rob protein, either whey or egg white. There are some people that have issues with whey protein with lactose intolerance, and I would get, if you were going to start out with PE Science just to bake with it, I would probably get the Snickerdoodle. If you want to drink it, absolutely hands down on the vanilla. Yeah, Quest is just meh. So with the influx, I saw that somebody asked about turnaround time on macro plans. I have had insanity, and I'm so blessed and so thankful that so many of you have contacted me. But my usual turnaround is normally 24 hours, and that is not the case this month. This month I'm running at about 2 to 3 days. So hopefully within 24 to 36 hours, if you contact me, you will get my initial email from me, and everything is sent by me personally. I don't have any auto response, anything. So from the moment that you contact me and that you pay, you are in contact directly with me from day one. So that is one of the reasons it takes me a little bit longer to get back to you, but I feel that you guys deserve that, and you don't need to be getting some automated. You can find all the information on poppylocks.com. Yes, you need to be logging your food, or have logged your food at least for a couple of days. Otherwise, that's the first thing I'm going to tell you need to do anyway. So I would suggest logging your food for 3 to 4 days. And I don't do beef jerky. That sodium's pretty high. But, oh, thank you. I don't do beef jerky because it's funny. I actually have to be really careful not to go over my daily amount of protein. And I eat about 50 grams of protein per meal. So I think things like jerky are fantastic when you're on a road trip and you really want something that's going to be, what's up, Skinny Meg? She's here. And we're not scoping at the same time. So yeah, beef jerky is a great go-to, but it's definitely not something that I keep on hand. I actually ran with Megan this morning. Well, I watched her butt go up the hill. So that's a little different than running with her, I suppose. So I wasn't feeling the hills. I was feeling the warm up and the cool down. That was a good part. Yes, no double scoping. So I wanted to talk to you guys. I have had several people contact me and ask about cheating on macros. I don't like the word cheat, first of all, so I decided to give you guys the actual definition of cheat. It is to act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage. That doesn't sound very positive to me. Macros is supposed to be a long-term sustainable fat loss plan. There is no cheating. If you guys think of anything that you cheat on a test, that's right or that's wrong? Probably wrong. Cheat in your marriage? Wrong. So cheating on macros is wrong. If you feel you need to cheat, I believe you are being too restrictive on what you're eating in the first place. If you say, well, I just was looking forward to going and eating pizza with my family on Saturday night, figure out how to fit that in your macros. Nobody says you have to eat half the pizza. You can have 2 pieces, put it in your macros. Amen, sister. You cannot cheat MyFitnessPal. Even if you don't log something, it's still went in your body. You can't cheat what your body says. That's right. See, Morgan makes cheeseburgers fit. Preach it, sister. So the first thing is to get the word cheat out of your mind, because what ends up happening is we, on previous diets, you've been extremely restrictive, right? You see all these things that tell you eat 1,200, eat 1,300. So you're in such a huge deficit for 5, 6, 7 days that when you go out and you eat that cheat meal, you're still in a deficit. The problem is that that's such an unhealthy, unsustainable approach to dieting. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, you'll lose weight really fast. You're not losing fat really fast, but you are losing poundage. Apparently Poppy doesn't like me talking to people on Periscope any more than the birds do. So you are, sure, you might want to, but that's the thing, Andrea, is you have to learn how to limit. If something like M&M sounds good, Morgan's a perfect example. She wanted a cheeseburger and she couldn't make it fit that day. So what she did the next morning is she got up and she made sure before she planned the rest of her day that she planned in the cheeseburger first for dinner and then planned everything else backing away from that. So at dinner time, she got to eat her cheeseburger. She was happy. Did she get it the night she wanted it? No. What is up with the world of instant gratification? You didn't gain 30 pounds overnight. You're not going to lose 30 pounds overnight. So you figure out how to make it fit. If you are looking at cheating, the problem on macros is if you're following somebody who knows what they're doing, your macro plan should not be very far below what you've currently been eating. The whole idea behind macros is eating as much as possible while still losing fat. So if you can lose fat eating 1,800 calories a day, why do you need to be eating 1,400? You can lose on 1,800 and you're probably a lot happier too. So the problem with then cheating is if I've got you eating right below what you normally do to maintain, and then you go balls to the wall, head out, eat yourself cheeseburger, onion rings, and a shake, and you had some 2,500 calorie meal, you are so far into a surplus from that one meal that you will pack back on whatever you lost. You can easily gain weight very quickly following macros because you're already eating really close to your maintenance level. Now, as you get farther and farther into your deficit and you start to lean out, a lot of people have found that they start to lose energy. This is way far in though. I would tell you guys, honestly, I don't know everybody's watching right now, but I'd say 90% of you aren't even close to that right now. When you get down there and your energy starts to wane, you have two options. You can either reverse back up for a time to give your body a rest from dieting. We can't diet. I don't care if you're following macros. You can't be on a fat loss plan forever. So you can either reverse back up a little bit, or you can do what's called a refeed day. And a refeed is very scheduled. It would be something that if you were working with me that I would talk to you very seriously about. It is not a refeed in the sense of like eat whatever the hell you want to for the next 24 hours. It is very controlled. You do need to try it. What have you got to lose, right? It's just eating. I mean, that's why when people say, can I do it pregnant? Can I do it nursing? Well, do you eat when you're pregnant and nursing? If so, I think so, because that's all it is. It's not about eating certain foods. It's not about being restricted. It's not about having things that are off limits. It's eating in moderation. All of us need a little bit of moderation. Poppylocks.com. You got scared. I promise I will walk you through it. And my Facebook group that is for all the ladies that I count macros for, they are beyond supportive. It is amazing to watch these other women just lift each other up. They support each other. They deal with the struggle. It's insane. I mean, I love the fact that the group of women that I work with, they're real women. I can probably count on both hands. I mean, I've got, I don't know, 400 and something ladies in that group right now. I can count on both hands how many are within 15 pounds of their goal. So that tells you guys how normal everybody is in this group. I'm not dealing with a bunch of bikini competitors. I promise you. Retail therapy. Amen. So the other thing that I wanted to tell you guys about is, okay, I'll talk about that real quick. So somebody asked about the difference between macros and Weight Watchers points. Weight Watchers, it's a calorie game, and I know that Weight Watchers probably has it figured out that you should be eating a certain amount of calories, even though they're calling them points. Number one problem I have with Weight Watchers is you're not fully aware of how many calories that you're eating. You're just eating points. What are those points? Are they carb points, fat points, protein points? Are you allowed to eat endless amounts of a certain food like fruits? So where exactly are your carbs for the day? Where I think that Weight Watchers can take someone from a it's very structured, so I think that it's very helpful for people. But what I have found is that they get stuck. They stop, and then they start to ask, where do I go from here? Because you don't really know what you've been eating. You've just been eating points. So do you eat less points? Do you eat dinner at a certain time? So I think just counting points or counting calories, you're not sure what the division is of your calories for that day. Yeah, you could eat 1,500 calories of ice cream, but that's going to be what? All fat and carbs, really. You're not going to be getting the protein that your body needs. So that's really where macros really has it. And that's why it's best, I think, to have someone calculate them. You're getting the right amount of protein for your body and your level of activity. You're getting the right amount of fat in order to help you, the division of fat and carbs, in order to help you lose weight and be successful and still not tank out like something on a ketogenic diet. The key to macros, the absolute 100% key to success is consistency. Just like with working out. Consistency. Yes, you need a food scale. That is the first thing to do. Grab a food scale and log all your food for a couple of days. Just to it really helps for people to see. Most people don't know how much they're eating. It's kind of a shock that once, I've had a lot of ladies are like, wow, I started tracking my food like you asked me to for 3 or 4 days, and I can't believe that I eat as many carbs as I do, or I eat 50 grams of protein a day. I didn't realize that. I thought eating, a piece of chicken for dinner was more than enough. So it's really eye-opening for a lot of people to start to weigh and log their food for a couple days. If you find when you're on a macro plan that you are falling off the wagon, you need to ask yourself why. You might need more calories. Maybe you've been on the diet train for a little bit too long. There's a lot of people that they keep dieting more and more and more, thinking that that's gonna. I actually have an counting alcohol into your macros Periscope that I did. I can go ahead and put it on YouTube. Honestly, I don't remember what my YouTube name is. You can either search. I think it's Elizabeth Welch, but I think it's a there's a picture of me on there, so just look for this. So if you're falling off the wagon and you ask yourself if you need more calories, the first thing you would need to do is figure out, maybe it's just time for me to take a break for a little while, which would be to reverse out. Absolutely, Renee. I have so many women that have 100+ pounds to lose. It is slow and steady. So the other thing that you need to ask yourself is, do I need more calories? I have a couple ladies that they got down and they just said, I have no more energy and I need some more. So we just kind of did a mini reverse. We just bumped them up a little bit. They feel fantastic now. They haven't gained any weight from doing that. And they're back to feeling better in the gym and pushing harder, and that's all that it takes. The other thing you need to ask yourself is, am I lazy? I hate to say it. Macros is simple. Macros is not easy. It's literally just eating as much as possible so you can lose weight. What that entails is daily weighing, daily logging, making sure that everything that goes in your mouth, every sauce, every condiment, every piece of cheese, every half a cookie that your 4-year-old didn't eat, you log it. And we have to be honest with ourselves. We got ourselves into the situation we're in somehow. So we need to be real with ourselves and figure out how that happened and how to get out of that situation. Everybody's very different, so I can't say that, you know, a 30, 40, 30, really what the benefits are for somebody specifically. No, so if you're eating healthy or you're eating crap food, it's totally up to you. You are given a certain amount of grams of proteins, fats, and carbs a day. How you get those I can't even talk this morning. Proteins, fat, and carbs is entirely up to you. If you love eating nothing but whole foods, meats and cheeses and vegetables, go for it. If you like to eat McDonald's once a day, you can do that too. It is totally whatever you're most comfortable with and the way that you like to fuel your body. Anybody that tells you that macros is all about eating Pop-Tarts and getting ripped is full of crap. Most people who follow macros eat good whole foods 85 to 90% of the time, and we allow ourselves to have foods that we enjoy with zero guilt. I don't really worry about sugars, especially with somebody who's working out. Nope, there is no long-term issue if you like to get your carbs from candy or you like to get them from fruit. Obviously, excuse me, fruit's going to have a lot better micronutrients with vitamins and stuff. But, excuse me. Yes, Pop-Tarts on pancakes and Sour Patch Kids. Pretty sure several of these ladies are part of my macro Facebook page. Right, so if you enjoy fruit, yes, I am currently training for a full marathon, my 7th full marathon. I've been reversing myself up because obviously as you increase mileage, you also need to increase your calories. I am eating currently at about 2,200 a day, and then I add in half of what I burn on my long. So if I run a 15-mile run, I'll get an extra 700 calories in on that day. I have not gained 1 pound, and we're about to run we're running 18 miles this weekend. So we're getting close. We're about 5 weeks out from our race. So yes, you can totally run a full marathon and not gain a crap ton of weight. Yes, they do work out. The macros work whether you are working out or not. Like I said, that's all something that I figure into your macro calculations if you end up working with me. Those are all questions that I ask you where you are in your workout, your weight loss journey, and your fitness journey, and then go off of that. I do know what Orange Theory is. I've heard several ladies who really enjoy that, and it's kind of a mix of like high intensity cardio weights, almost kind of boot campish. And I mean, if you're working out 3-4 times a week. Oh no, you need to start eating. 15 to 1,700. I guess it depends on how much you weigh, because that's something else that. Yes, macros will work for you whether you have 10 pounds to lose or 200 pounds to lose. It's literally just eating. I mean, what I have honestly found is, yeah, you're right there at your borderline there at 160. Oh, see, I need to smack you through my phone. 1,200 calories a day. So we have what's called a basal metabolic rate. That is what our body requires for things like brain function, breathing, digestion. Those things do use calories. If you are eating below your basal metabolic rate, your body has to go look elsewhere for energy. And guess where the first place it goes? Muscle. Muscle is very easy for the body to use as energy. So if you are eating 1,200 calories a day, you will not gain muscle. You will not get stronger. You will burn your body out so fast because you're putting yourself, especially if you work out, goodness, you're putting yourself so far into a deficit. Yay! You probably do need, if you have a brain fog, yes, go eat some carbs. My macro plans are $40, and for $40 you get 3 sets. You get an initial set of macros, and whether you reverse or you are in fat loss, you get an extra 2 sets for if your fat loss stalls, or if we're setting up a calculated reverse to slowly increase. You also get access to the private Facebook group, which is only for the ladies who have their macros calculated by me. And that is really what I feel like is worth the money for a lot of the ladies. You also have access to me through email. I'm not able to answer every question immediately. So if you have something that would be something you really want to talk about ASAP, then of course posting that on the Facebook group because there's so many women. Yes, so if you wanted to reverse, you basically pay, so it's $40 for your initial 3, and then if you want to continue to go up past that, then it's $30 as a returning client. If you then wanted to switch after a time and go back into fat loss, then yes, you have to pay for another set. But once you have paid your initial 40, it's $30 from that point forward with the 3 sets. I just literally, so all I need to know to calculate your macros accurately is how you currently have been eating. And that's what I tell anybody, whether I've got somebody who hasn't been dieting at all or somebody who's currently in a diet and they've stalled out, then I just literally go off of where you are now and where you want to go from that point. And those are all questions that you can answer with me through email once I receive your initial new client form. So let's not, and I found a lot of people have said that they've tried calculating okay, here's the problem with online calculators and how, you can, yeah. I choose not to lose weight during marathon training because I think it's so hard on your body. So So I did see somebody ask what the three sets are for. The initial set is for when you start your fat loss plan. 2 things can happen. Either you start losing fat on that one and because you're trying to lose fat running 26.2 miles and training for 4 months. She's going to totally side-eye you. So you're going to get your first set, and let's say you start losing, that's great. And then in 4 or 5 weeks, you stall out and you're not losing fat anymore. Then you drop to the next set below that, and you start losing again. And you lose again 5, 6, 7 weeks, everything's going great, and then you stall out. That's what happens to our bodies. Our bodies learn to adapt to the lower calorie intake. So we get to a point where we either have to continue to drop, or we have to say we're good with where we are. Sometimes you hit your goal weight, and then you're ready to reverse back up. So then, again, these are all things that if you're working with me that I walk you through. None of this stuff is blind. That's another problem that I have with an online calculator. You go in and they give you this set of macros, and then, well, what do I do with it? And then what if it doesn't work? Where do I go from here? Well, I don't know. Go ask the computer, right? So that's where it's important to me that we continue to keep in conversation with each other. And yeah, protein, however you get your protein in. You want to use powder, you want to use whole foods, that's entirely up to you. I've found a lot of people have issues with eating or drinking more than about 2 to 3 of the scoops of protein a day. I think Fitbit is fine if it's something that you enjoy that challenges you. All heart rate monitors are inaccurate on calorie burn. If you want to use your Fitbit because you want to get a certain number of steps in, that's great. If you're using it because you think that you are, oh, I burned 600 calories today, probably not. I'm just being honest with you. So I don't go off of what those things tell you. Yes, even a Polar. No, I'm not in the new house. We don't move in until Saturday. And I have to tell you guys this. Oh my gosh. So Sunday, we are packing up our house and we have crap all over the house. And the doorbell rings and I look through the peephole and it's some lady and she's walking away from the door. I was like, okay, whatever. So I see my husband through the peephole go through the garage. So I figured, oh, he's got it, whatever. So I come back in the house and a couple minutes later, he comes in through the garage and he goes, somebody's here for you. I'm like, all right. Of course, the house, like I said, freaking disaster, right? Because we're packing. I walk out in the front yard and there's this lady standing there and she says, hi, Elizabeth. And I can't remember. She told me what her name was. She said, I came here to see you. I'm like, all right. She goes, you don't know me. Yeah, you're right. And then I look over to the side and next to my tree is another lady and she comes around the corner with a puppy. My husband bought me another dog. So I'm moving into a new house and she's 7 months old and she's one of those baby floppy, you know, their feet are all over the place and she's just a wrinkly mess. Oh my gosh, she's absolutely the most adorable thing ever. And I fell in love with her. I saw her at PetSmart when they did one of those rescue things on the weekend. And I fell in love with her. My husband went back and paid for her as a surprise. How sweet is that? And then, so they brought her over to introduce her to my other two dogs, and they took her back, and they said that they will bring her to our new house on Sunday, so she gets to come live with us next Sunday. So I'm super excited. I have a new house and a new puppy all at the same time. It's so fun. This is what happens when you stop having babies. We have no idea. So she looks like, if you want to look up this breed, she looks like a blue lacy heeler puppy. Yeah, I know, right? I already have Poppy the dachshund. Now I need Locks, the bigger one. And we found out that a couple years ago, 2005, I think it was, Rick Perry named the blue lacy heeler the state dog of Texas. So if she's even part blue lacy, she is the cutest thing ever. So sweet. So I'm very excited. So now we have black and tan dogs because my other two are black dogs. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Hi, are you Poppy Lux? I needed you to do my macros. And now it's time to move. I would die. Yeah, that is like full on creeper status right there. That's when it's like, you don't Periscope from your house anymore because people know where you live. Oh, do they have a map on Periscope? Oh, hell. I think they do. No, if somebody show up for macros, I'll be like, y'all need to wait for 2 or 3 days. That's my policy. So, yes, the other thing is, if you are interested in me creating a macro plan for you, as you all know, yeah, come on, Megan, what's up? You're next. I am moving, so I am going to be disabling the link for new client macro plans tomorrow morning because we close on our house. It won't be permanent, but Elizabeth needs a tiny bit of sanity while she moves her house from one location to another. So I will be temporarily removing the link to the new client calculations probably until... Did you really? You can leave it on there. I'll just have to change it. It'll be like, and you'll get your macros. Yes, totally fine if you sign up today. I'm totally good with it. I'm not, like I said, it's not going to be a permanent thing, but I do need a couple of days to be able to catch up with the people that have currently requested plans. And I am staying on top of them, but normally it takes, on a slow month, it takes me about 24 hours, but I'm 2 to 3 days right now, just because God has blessed me with lots of Insta-famous people who are losing weight and tagging me. It's fantastic. I love it. And I love helping you guys. And I love teaching people that it's fun to eat freely and to still lose weight and not feel restricted. Oh, Lindsay decided to join us. Look at that. I do macros for several ladies who breastfeed. Again, if you currently are not logging food, the first place to start is to log your food for a couple of days so that I can see how you're currently eating, because obviously we don't want, you can't work. You have to tell them that we're scoping here, Lindsay. That's how this works. I need to know how you're currently eating while you're breastfeeding, so I don't drop your calories too low because we don't want to affect your milk supply. So that's extremely important. And I'm a big supporter of breastfeeding. I'm a big supporter of pregnant ladies on macros and not gaining 70 pounds a child like I did. I wish I had found out about macros when I was having babies. That would be so fun. We can totally make Babes fit our macros, right, Megan? Babes is a good place to eat, too. Yes, we need to have like a Dallas meet and greet. Like we all just get together and we make it probably really upset a restaurant. I can't have butter on that. Can you go ahead and make sure that my broccoli is steamed? Because too much oil in there, you're going to totally mess up my fat grams for the day. Sorry. Oh, wait. Me cook. Is that how this works? Everybody's coming over to eat pancakes? Yes, your numbers will adjust if you are pregnant. You can totally be on fat loss for the first about 20 weeks of your pregnancy. Your baby doesn't need any more food than what you're currently eating. And then about week 20 to 25, somewhere around in there, my suggestions, party at my new house. Yay! If you are pregnant, my suggestion about week 20 to 25, somewhere in there, is that you start to reverse back up to a higher maintenance level that allows your baby and your own body to get as many nutrients as possible. That also gets you up to a much higher calorie intake so that when you have your baby, you'll be able to go back into a fat loss plan. You'll still be eating a fairly high amount of calories, and you'll be able to sustain your milk supply if you choose to breastfeed, because we all know that if you dip into your calories after having a baby, the first thing that goes is your milk. So yes, you want to make sure that you are eating enough to sustain that and also be taking care of your body, because we all know that babies suck the life out of us. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Breastfeeding on 2200. Yes. I do work with a couple of ladies that have also had weight loss surgery. Marilee made it on! And my day is complete. Joanna, if you want to be eating in your bed, you are totally fine with that. There is nothing magical about eating standing up, and there's nothing magical about eating before 9 p.m. Yeah, I mean, if you get in there today, if you get in there for you still got a couple of days. And I'll see if I get some kind of influx, then I'll definitely have to shut it down. And it may only be through the weekend. And the main reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to continue to give one-on-one contact for the people that are already paid and working with me. And if I have this huge influx of people paying more and more, right now I'm getting people that are saying, when am I going to expect my plan? Well, right now I'm still at home. I might not have internet for 2 days. So if I don't have internet, you're not going to be able to get a plan anyway. And that's my concern. But I promise, yes, if you are patient and you're willing to wait, it is definitely something that is worth it. But again, I understand that there's some people that want to start. And like I said, most people probably need to start with logging your food for 3 to 4 days before you contact me. You can pay, but I'm going to come right back at you and tell you if you haven't been logging, because I will not write plans for people just based on random numbers that I come up with. I write your plan based on what you are doing and how you are currently eating. And that ensures that you have a more successful plan and more sustainable fat loss. Yes, there is a hack. You don't have to do the MyFitnessPal upgrade if you don't want to. I know a lot of people really like the premium version. Megan's one of them who uses it. I use the free version, so I honestly can't tell you the benefits between the two. Maybe somebody else who's on here could share, if they've used both, what they like best about the premium version. Yeah, so the best thing to do is to log all your food in something like MyFitnessPal for a couple of days. And really what I need is your average calorie intake over 3 to 4 days. See, look at Marilee. Girl is cruising. So yeah, if you have your exact macros, that works even better. But if you just have your average calorie intake, I honestly don't care what you're eating. If you're eating cottage cheese or you're eating donuts, it doesn't matter. I just need to know how much food you're consuming calorie-wise. I know, Jessica, I'm the same way. My kids think it's funny now because I have to sit down with my phone because I can measure everything out. But then as soon as I sit down before it goes in, I'm like, oh, that's right, I put cheese on there. Oh, that's right, I had Brussels sprouts. Yeah, so I'm the same way. My phone is at the table, and I feel kind of rude. But yay! I'm so glad that she's excited. She's enjoying it. We have a male chef that joins me. I don't know how I was so honored to get that. Online calculator. I honestly don't recommend them. I hate to say that, but I don't because they're very generic. And I have found a lot of people. One of the problems that I have found is if you say you work out, they automatically have given women that you automatically need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's true for a lot of us, but not everybody. If you weigh 300 pounds. There's no way in hell you need to be eating 300 grams of protein. It's not gonna actually take that into consideration. It's automatically gonna see your weight and then boom. No, I do not do meal plans. I only do macro plans because you get to choose to eat what you want to eat. So I know I have a lot of former Weight Watchers ladies who have found that if they take their plan and they divide up their macros evenly through each meal of the day, that makes it a little bit easier for them because it's kind of more of a point type, system. But I don't do any specific type of meal plans for anybody. So make sure that we do not use the word cheat. That should be a 4-letter word. I understand it's 5, but it should be a 4-letter word. We don't cheat on macros. We eat what we want to, when we want to, within moderation. And then we never have to cheat, right? If you know that you can have a piece of cake and you choose to eat it and you don't feel guilty about it, then it's not cheating. Oh my goodness gracious. See, we have a problem with the online calculator. Look at that right there. 21 carbs breastfeeding. Goodness gracious. To get a hold of me, poppylocks.com. There is, if you would like me to work on a macro plan for you, there's a new client link on there. Also, just take a look around. There's a section called What Are Macros, explaining what the 3 macronutrients are that we follow. There's also a grocery list under there that gives you several different options on, ways to get higher protein, higher carbs, higher fat. And I need to probably put, well, that's entirely up to you. It depends on what your goal numbers are. I consider right now that I'm winning even because I haven't gained any weight and I'm eating a crap load more food than I used to be. So I'll probably put a link to my YouTube channel on my website because it seems like several people have asked where they can find the old Periscope videos, and I do record all of them to my phone. So plus or minus 5 grams of each macro number would be considered a win for your day. So if you're supposed to eat 150 grams of protein a day, 145 to 155 would be your goal, plus or minus 5. And that's of each macro. If you're going too far above or below that, then we're not really going to be able to tell if your macros need to be adjusted or if you are eating too much or too little. So the best way is we just say to stay within 5 grams in either direction of each macro every day. Also, your calories very rarely, I eat more than that. Your calories very rarely will match your macros in MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal does some weird rounding to their calories. They don't use points. So it's not like, 13.4. They do everything in whole numbers. So, your calories they won't match. So as long as you're hitting your macros, then your calories is kind of second nature. If it says you're 115 calories over, whatever, you're within 5 grams of each macro, you're good. So, the only time that I really tell people to pay attention to their calories is if they have a day where they do fall off the wagon, but they're still within their calorie amount, then I would say, you know what, just eat up to your calories and stop for the day and then start over tomorrow on your macros. That's the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about. I had somebody else who said that they totally had some crazy ass cheat meal and they wanted to know if they needed to start over on day 1 tomorrow. I'm like, so if you try riding a bike and you fall off, do you go put your training wheels back on? Or do you just get back on the bike with the 2 wheels the next day and try again? There is no stop-start on macros. This is life. Macros are life. Let's hear it. Hashtag macros are life. So yes, there's no stopping and then, oh crap, I undid everything I did. No, you didn't. You undid life. You just freaking start eating again. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Thank you, Lindsay. Macros are life. So, if you have some day where you had too much wine, you had too much cheese, you whatever, you get back up and you keep riding tomorrow. And I don't want you to feel guilty about it. Leave whatever crap meal you had in the past and keep moving forward. So, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I have seen that several people, while I've been scoping, have paid macros for everybody. I did see somebody ask me if I was overweight. My macro journey is a little bit different. I started out, I've never really had like a serious weight issue. And I was a runner. You just make your one eat out meal fit your macros. So if you have one that you know you're going to eat out and you know where you're going, then you just usually go on MyFitnessPal and search for that restaurant, or you can usually go out to the restaurant's nutrition information and be able to find what you're going to eat. I still suggest you plan that ahead of time because most people don't realize the amount of fat and carbs that are in foods that are in restaurants. So real quick, my macro journey. I haven't really ever had like a serious weight issue. I've always had very poor body image though, very low self-esteem. And so I got to a point where I was running a lot. I mean, we're talking 50, 60 miles a week, working out 5 to 6 days a week. It was an obsession. It was trying to figure out if this isn't working, add one more day, add one more workout, reduce your food by a little bit more, that kind of stuff. Hey, Chrissy. So I got myself to a point about 2.5 years ago where I was eating between 12 and 1,300 calories a day, running about 60 miles a week, working out 5 to 6 days a week. And throughout a course of several months, I ended up gaining 20 pounds, and it was not muscle. It was fat. I was squishy around the middle. I had fat on my arms, on my back, and I was literally in the gym as much as possible. I was killing myself. I could have sworn there was something wrong with my thyroid. My mom had thyroid cancer when she was 19, as did my aunt. So I thought, well, that's got to be what the problem is. So I go to the doctor. He runs every test known to man, T3, T4, all the normal panel that they run, and then some. Everything comes back normal. And he looks at me and he says, well, I can't really explain because your thyroid's normal why you would possibly be gaining. So my suggestion is you just eat less and then eat less and just keep eating less. And at some point, your body's going to wise up and just have to let go of some of that. Oh, dear God. I mean, this guy has a freaking PhD, people. I was like, you have lost your damn mind. I can't eat any less. Thank you. So that was when I went home and thought, there's got to be a better way. I am fat. I am sick. I am tired. I have run my body into the ground. I look like shit. I feel like shit. And I can't possibly do more. I'm doing all the things. So I ended up getting online and started doing some research and started trying to figure out what could cause this. And that was when I came across the name Layne Norton. If you guys have any time and you want to do some real true research, look up Layne Norton. His name on YouTube is BioLayne. He's also on Instagram at BioLayne. He has a PhD. The guy is beyond intelligent. And I started binge watching his YouTube videos, and it was literally like he was talking to me. He was talking about people who go to competition prep, but they prep, and you see these women and they're cardio bunnies and they're starving themselves and they're on 1,000-calorie diets and they're doing all this just so that they can compete. And then once they compete, they go on this binge because they haven't been eating and they gain all this fat and then they feel like crap and they put themselves in these vicious cycles of starving and binging. And what happens is your metabolism begins to adapt. So you are doing more and you're eating less and your body's learning to live on 1,300 calories a day. And then you put your body into a starvation survival mode and it will literally retain all of the fat you're holding out of fear of starvation. Our bodies are really good at not letting us die if possible. And so you have totally put your body into a situation where it thinks it's dying. So it's not going to let anything go. And I ended up finding a macro coach myself and asked her to work with me. She put me on a fat loss plan for 8 weeks and I lost nothing. Obviously, I wasn't going to lose anything. My body wasn't losing at 13. So she also told me I was overdoing the cardio and I needed to figure out a way to drop down out of that, which was probably the hardest part for me. And after 8 weeks of not losing anything, she told me about reverse dieting and how I would have to go for probably 6 months and continue to increase my calories very slowly and change my mindset from trying to lose all the time to just not gaining. And I flipped out. I cried. I was upset because I thought, I'm carrying around this extra 20 pounds of fat. I've literally run until I can't run anymore. And now you're telling me that I have to purposely not lose weight. So for 6 months, I did. I reversed up, and she took me from about 1350 a day to 2250. I had my body fat hydrostatic tested at the beginning of it, and then 6 months later, and in that 6 months, I lost 1% of body fat, and I gained 6 pounds of muscle because I was still working out really heavy in the gym. I was eating, again, like I said, 800, 900 more calories a day than I was 6 months before. Then she switched me back over to a cut, and I was able to start losing fat. I lost 11 pounds of fat, not 11 pounds on the scale. And from that point forward, I mean, this is life saving. This is life changing. It's proof that I can eat food, and that, I mean, if somebody had told me when I'm running 60 miles a week, eating 1,300 calories a day, I can have you eating 2,250 a day and you won't weigh any more than you do right now, I would have said you're full of shit. I'm going to be freaking huge. There's no way that I can eat 900 calories more a day and not be the size of my kitchen table. And I proved that it was possible. It was so freeing to get myself to a point where I actually had changed my mindset to not losing. So then I was super happy when I switched to fat loss and was able to lose. And I've learned that there have to be periods of just not losing, and that's totally normal and that's totally okay and very healthy for some of us to not always think. I think as women, we think we always have to be on some kind of a diet, and we just don't. We need to allow our bodies to rest and to relax and to properly feed ourselves for possibly months if needed, instead of, yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Megan, and she's gone through periods of fat loss and she's gone through periods of reversing. And it literally is, like I said, it's life-changing. And I never want to see anybody go on these 1,200 calorie diets where they're restricted and they're eating plain chicken and broccoli 3 times a day. You're so welcome. I know that sometimes people think that, well, if I haven't lost, I don't have one of those 100-pound weight loss journeys that maybe I don't understand. And that's my concern, is I want people to understand that we all come from so many different places. I know what it feels like to feel hopeless, and I know what it feels like to starve myself to death in hopes of just making that scale move 1 pound if possible, and it just doesn't go, no matter how hard I work. So I understand. See, it still gets me emotional. I understand how it feels for you, even if you have so much more to lose than I do. So I want you guys to know that I fully support whatever it is that you guys choose to do, whether it's following macros or just living a healthier lifestyle or just finally getting out on a bike. You can do it, and you don't. See, we can't work together. You can do it, and I want to help you do it, and I want to help you succeed, and I want to help you eat all the food. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I have to go meet my super sweet husband and talk about our new puppy and our new house for lunch. And I hope to see some of you guys back on here very soon from my new house. I'll take you guys on a tour of my new house. I'm not a crier either. Ask Megan. I would much rather punch somebody and call him a bitch or something like that. Have a wonderful day, ladies. Mwah.